All right.
180.
This is
Does it blur out the faces?
what?
Does it blur out the faces of the stairs?
Is this the right one?
There's no face in the back of your head, buddy.
This the right one?
That's why you face the front. Page 108, yes. No, 108, not 180, buddy. 108, 108.
Already here.
All right, so in our last lesson, we were solving one-step inequalities by adding and subtracting, right?
Sounds good.
Here's the good thing about this. Remember we had to graph everything?
Nice.
Remember everything we did, we had to graph, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So on addition and subtraction,
It
for addition and subtraction, we have to graph. Multiplication, division, we're not gonna have to graph that. Okay, so if you recall, if we had like 5m plus 4 is, try something more basic. 4m, 4 plus m is greater than or equal to
Can you give me a
16.
paper, please? Because I do not want to walk by the camera.
I'm sorry, what do you need, paper? I got you, dude. Yeah, I got you.
I don't want to be on a commercial for the blow my face. I turn my voice
I
on.
get it. Guys, we're in class, just doing our thing. Okay, don't worry about the camera. But anything you need, let me know. You got a pencil?
Dang, you got me all set.
Let me get some. I need it. Oh, why are you guys scared to walk up here? Hey.
I'm saying here, fool. Just like
Then you have to
No,
say,
I got it. I got it.
All right, here's the,
Ever scared to walk up here?
here's the fine pencil. Oh,
Here, walk up there.
here you
No,
go.
because of the camera.
All right, so back where we're at. In our last lesson, we were solving one-step inequalities using addition and subtraction, right? Again, so listen, how do we get m by itself?
Subtract.
Got 4 from both sides, very good.
Cut that out, you said with an N.
Perfect. N is greater than or equal to, and 16 minus 4 is 12. Okay, and then we would graph this. Now we're doing it using multiplication and division. We're not going to have to graph it. Okay, instead of having to find this on the graph, our 0 point, and what we got, 12, and the n is greater than, less than, is greater than or equal to this graphing step, no more. But in exchange for not having to graph, we have to know the rule or if we're going to change the inequality sign, okay? If we change it, if we're multiplying or dividing, let's do 4x is greater than 40. 4x is greater than 40. Again, this is no different than if we had done 4x is equal to 40. Because what do we do to get x by itself in this case?
Oh.
Over here. We're always using opposite function, right? If that goes to add, we subtract. Yes, sir.
Divide.
Divide, right. Because it says 4x is multiply, we divide both sides by what?
4.
By 4. 4 divided by 4 is, so we're left with 1x. We write the 1.
No,
X equals, and 40 divided by 4?
40.
No, 40 divided by 4 is 10. Okay?
Oh, Jesus.
So the same step we did for equalities, we're going to do for inequalities. This is
Oh, we're
still
just multiplying them? Or dividing?
multiplying or dividing. It still says 4x is greater than 40. Essentially saying 4 times x is greater than 40. So to get it by itself, it is easy.
Divide 4 both sides.
By 4 both sides,
Do we still have to graph it?
we don't have to graph it.
So just the answer
It's
like that?
greater than 10.
That's all we have to write? For that?
Hold on a second, brother. I'm going to get there. So you're right. This is all we write. But the rule changes if we're multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Okay? So say we have 4x is greater than negative 40. Now we're going to solve the same way. We're going to solve it as divide both sides by whatever is with the variable. 4 divided by 4 is 1, leaves us with x. Is greater than, and now 40 divided by 4 is 10. Is it going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative because
Sides are different.
because the sides are different. However, because we divided by a negative, or we multiplied by a negative, we have to change our inequality sign. So instead of saying x is greater than negative 10, this becomes x is less than negative 10. We just changed the inequality sign because we're dividing by we're multiplying or dividing by a negative. Because when we go to the negative side of a number line, our inequality will change in multiplication and division. There's nothing to graph here, okay? It's just making a statement.
So if the x is on the right side,
Either side.
you start to change the,
Only if we're multiplying or dividing by a negative number.
oh,
If they're both positive numbers,
erase it, Chris.
Huh?
You can erase it.
I'm gonna erase this one and let you write the rest of it down, okay? So go ahead and copy this one down for some notes. And you put that away because we're doing that. Thanks. Okay, anybody want to write this down? We're gonna do some more together. Huh? You wrote it down? Okay, great.
from a pencil.
Okay, so what if we had b over 3 greater than or equal to negative 31? All right. So how are we going to get b by itself? Using the old rules of what we did for multiple.
We multiply.
We multiply, because this, what does this represent? Division, right? Fractions are division now.
But there's, oh yeah, the variable at the top.
Right. So we're going to divide, right? And we're going to multiply, which is the opposite of division. So remember I told you, we don't have to do the whole turn it into a fraction. Remember that was that long drawn out thing?
Yeah.
All we're going to do is multiply both sides times the bottom number of the fraction, okay? Times 3. These two will allow us to cancel out. Leaving us with b is greater than or equal to, and what is, you guys don't have a calculator. 31 times 3 is 93. Okay? Is it going to be positive or negative 93?
I thought negative.
It is negative. Why is it negative?
Sides are
Because the
different.
bigger number.
Signs are different. Remember, the bigger number being, if we use the bigger number, that's when we add or subtract. In multiplication and division, the rule is if the sides are the same, answer is positive, sides are different, the answer is negative, right? So this is negative. Now, because in this equation, do we multiply or divide by a negative number? Yes or no? We multiply by a negative number, right?
Right.
Thus, we will change the inequality to say b is now less than or equal to negative 93. Okay, it changes the inequality. Anytime someone writes the rules
So
down,
every time it's a negative, the sign changes to the other side?
yes, anytime a negative is involved,
Right.
then we have to swap our inequality, okay? So as far as solving, you guys all have that written down? If you want. Alex, sit up too, sir. Oh, very good thing. Yeah, okay, here we go. So we have 18 is less than negative 2n. 2 less than negative 2n. What are we gonna do to get the variable by itself?
Huh?
How do we get the n by itself?
Multiply 2 from both sides.
We add 2 and then.
Hold on. You said add, you said multiply. What does this mean? Does this mean multiply or divide?
Oh, multiply.
So do we have to do the opposite function? Or is it opposite?
Divide. Well, yeah, that's what I
We're
meant.
divide. We're gonna divide both sides by,
2 negative 2.
right? This cancels out, leaves us with what? M e, sorry, is greater than. So this way, and then what is 18 divided by 2?
6.
Close, it's 9. It's gonna be positive or negative.
Bro, what?
Negative.
-9. So when we rewrite this, remember, when the variable's on the, we need the variable on the left always, so read that to me, Ulysses.
M is greater than -9?
-9. Okay, so that's written correctly, right? We had to, every time we have the variable on the right, we have to change it to the left.
Okay.
Now because we,
Now, if it's on the right side, you change it to the right? I mean,
so if it's on the right side, that's where we want it. We always want the variable on the, we always want the variable on the left over here, okay? So
okay.
if it's on the right, we change it, we read it backwards. M is greater than -9. But because we divided by a negative number, we have to flip our inequality sign. So
M
it's
is less than.
exactly, M is less than -9. This becomes our answer. So this involved two steps, right? First, we had to read it backwards so we could write it properly with the
So we
variable on
have
the
to
left.
write that middle stuff too?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you did is you write it backwards. See, we always want our variable to be on the left. So we got our answer, and then we read it backwards to rewrite it. M is less than -9. M is greater than -9. M is greater than -9. Then we flip our inequality. Okay? We switch our inequality sign to say M is less than -9 because a negative was involved. Any questions on that? Okay. So I'm gonna have you guys come up and do a couple. Well, I'm gonna have you do one, so. If you would like to, right? You don't have to come up here and do this, but you do need to put that away. It's the second time I've asked you. Okay. I'm not gonna make you come up and do this because I know you don't want to be in front of the camera, which is perfectly fine.
I'll do it. I think it's like,
No,
I'm
I'm fine.
having a hard time. I'm good.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Well, I can do it because my face is not.
Cool, all right, so each of you can come up and, I'll have you try one. All right, ready, so. Is greater than or equal to 3. Who wants to come up and solve one first? Come on up, Brett. So, I'm going to get the variable by itself. So what is the first step you think? Whatever side the variable is on, which is the letter side, yes, since this is multiply, what's the opposite of multiply? Division. So we're going to divide each side, so put a line underneath each other. Divide whatever is with the variable, so 3. So when you do this side, you do that side, divide by 3. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 becomes 1, right? So this would draw a line through those two 3's. It's going to cancel out, we're going to be left with just M. And then we have the inequality sign, greater than or equal to. And then what is 21 divided by 3? It's 7, yeah. We're at 7. The signs are different, so it will be positive or negative 7. Right, so -7. Perfect. Now, our variable's on the right, we need it on the left, right? So we're going to read this backwards. It says M is
Less than 7.
perfect, so write that. Like M less than or equal to 7, -7, right? Okay, now, when we divide by a negative number, we have to flop our inequality sign. So this is going to now say M is greater than or equal to -7. So you understand the steps. One second, don't leave it. I'll make sure you understand the steps. So we get M by itself, right? Just like if this was an equal sign, get M by itself, read it backwards, and then rewrite it for the inequality. Cool. Good job. You guys understand what we did?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, you're gonna be next, okay? So let me explain to you. So the original equation was -21 is greater than or equal to 3M. First thing we have to do is get the variable by itself. 3 is with the variable, this means multiply. We do the opposite function, which is divide. Divide both sides by whatever is with the variable, divide by 3, divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, that cancels out, agreed?
What the heck?
Left with M is less than or equal to, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. Signs the difference, we have -7. You guys understand this step right here, Sean?
Yes.
Yes, put those away, please. Okay. Next thing we had to do, where's our variable, right or left? Where do we need it?
The left.
Left, so we read it backward. M is less than or equal to -7, so M is less than or equal to -7, right?
Right.
But we have negative involved in our inequality. We had to divide by a negative, right? So we have to switch our inequality. So instead of M is less than or equal to -7, we flop the inequality to say M is greater than or equal to -7, and this is Ray's final answer. And he was correct. Understand?
Yeah.
Perfect. Seems a little difficult, but I promise it's not.
It's fine.
All right. Yeah, so I'm not gonna make anybody come up. Who would like to come up and do it?
I'll go to it.
All right, let me write one for you, then you listen.
Species was next anyways.
36, greater than or equal to. Come on up.
Small numbers, Chris.
I
It's
mean,
T.
letter. It's 9T.
It's 19. Right, so you guys-
Well, Keelan.
Perfect, okay, so now, what's our first step?
Divide negative 9.
I think so.
What is this?
I don't know. 9.
See, when you said divide by both sides, you said it right perfectly, right?
Oh, I didn't
Make
do
sure
it by.
make sure we do it first, and now we can do it. So 36 over 9 is
But wouldn't it be negative? Though?
Mhm.
It's negative.
It's just crossing each other out, so it's right.
Good morning, Bulldogs. The earthquake has begun. The earthquake has begun.
Oh, shit.
Please drop
All right, we have an earthquake
Cover.
drill.
and
Ah.
hold on.
Get down to your desk, guys.
Underneath, drop, cover, and hold
Underneath,
on.
Alex, Alex, underneath your desk.
Oh, shit.
Underneath your desk.
Shake the
It's
camera.
an earthquake drill. This?
Yeah, my booty gonna
No,
be stabbed.
no, not like that. Get on your hands and knees, put your head under the desk, please. Protecting your head and neck is important.
I don't fit, Chris.
I can't.
If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong.
My blood's gonna get stabbed.
Wait, my backpack.
That's weird.
Anyways,
I asked them.
I can't even fit through this.
you're doing good, that's what you
I
need to do.
could.
Your head and neck is covered and supported.
Bro,
Yeah.
but my shoulder, my arm.
That's why I starved myself.
this cute.
What?
That's why I starved myself.
Booty ain't gonna die.
My booty is to die. I need the shit.
Bro, my knee hurts.
Well,
Mine's
just think it was an
still-
earthquake, this will save your life, so take it seriously.
No, I
Not
don't
for
even fit.
you.
Chris, I don't even fit.
Look, I can't
Well,
even
do I
fit.
fit?
No.
Well,
you are
support
lucky.
your
You got
wrists
that
and Protect your head and neck.
Why don't you get on one of these desks?
We'll trade you.
It's a 1 minute break shakeout, you'll be fine, I think we can all survive.
I don't feel no.
If I can
Bro,
get my big butt over here, you guys can.
it's
do
been like 6 minutes.
it. You listen, that's your
How about
ADD
that,
kicking in, bro.
boy?
Ah!
What happened?
Okay. Yeah.
What happened?
Look at Alex.
I was looking down.
Were they in the 2.9 page?
I don't feel no earthquake in you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, look at all that gum. Ooh.
Yeah,
Let's
these
not
desks are
go.
as hell.
Let me eat it.
Oh!
Oh, you're
Hey,
dirty.
Bro, my
Your ED mess is showing.
Ew, my phone. It's all on the rim of here right here.
It looks like a lick mud.
Bro, it's been more than a minute, Chris.
Oh, there's my piece of gum.
Look how much Chubella.
Hey, there's,
Oh, Chris, here.
oh crap, there's
I'm
my
not being disrespectful.
Hey,
but Chris,
Good
here.
morning, Bulldogs. The earthquake is over. The earthquake is over.
Oh,
You may now get
I
out.
lived through that.
I know,
Alright,
right?
so, here's what, Alex, you're lazy and you die, get your seat. Because your head's not
We
covered.
have evacuated, but we are not evacuating today. Thank you for your participation in
He
this
was
great
like, Chris, you can't
American shakeout. Have a good day.
Bye.
Hold on, brother, let me get my balance.
Yeah, I was the first one to get on here.
Alright, there we go.
There's so much gum under there. I know,
Bro,
like,
my knee hurts.
I know I could have pieced under there too, but like,
Alright, here we go, back to the lesson. Okay, good job.
alright, handicap. That's like
Like 8.
Elise. Why didn't you get under Chris's desk?
Pause for a minute. Okay, so now, the
I don't think Elise
variable.
have that. Isabella was having trouble.
No, it's not there yet.
Reading it
The
back.
struggle of Shabella.
Less than or equal to 4. Now we can divide by negative, so we have to swap our inequalities. Understand?
Yeah, not really, to be honest. I'm just.
Okay, what is it not understanding? What we're doing is we're solving for the variable.
Okay, I understand this part, but I don't understand this.
Okay, well, this is what you've always done.
So from before, we would just flip it and just leave it like that, right?
Yeah, we leave it at this point right here.
And then we're just changing it to the sign that was already.
Right, because we're reading it backwards. T is less than or equal to, which is what you rewrote, right? We just put the T on the left hand side.
Yeah.
But because anytime that when in multiplication and division, if there's a negative involved, we have to flip our equality. We're swapping signs. That's all it is. So once we've read this backwards, it's
So
two steps. of the
If
story.
this wasn't a negative,
It would just be your final answer. Yes.
but what if
there were no negative, like if this was this.
what if the T was already on that side?
Okay, I'll show you that too, okay? And then 19, okay? So we would just divide both sides by negative 9. And negative 9. Right, if you get a negative 9. It was just 19. Divided by 9. So this would be T greater than. Okay?
My grandma was in
T was less than or equal to
That's right.
T.
That's a-
From the,
That would be the answer, because there's no negative involved.
now what if the T was from that?
If it was 19, it is less than or equal to 36. Then we would just divide by 9. Divide by 9.
Okay.
So T is less than or equal to 4. Notice this answer and this answer are the same. This one we had to, because the
So we
variable,
just like this.
yeah, because the variable was on the right for this equation.
So for this problem like this, we wouldn't have to change this.
Yeah, you would have, there's no negative involved.
Right.
Only if one of these are negative. Okay? If it's
And
a
if
negative
the T's on that side.
one,
Okay.
even if the T's on the
Oh, well, I meant change the T.
right, always change the T if the variable's on the right, we change the T.
Yeah.
If there's a negative involved, after we change it, if we have to change it, then we flip the inequality. Make sense?
Yeah.
My sister in school.
All right.
Bro, that hurt my head.
Under the desk?
Yeah, hit the metal part. Thing.
Hey, question, why did you understand this?
Much work.
You know, it's what the. Okay, listen, do you guys have any questions? Anybody else want to do any more of these on the board?
Yeah, sorry.
You would like to do
Sean.
it? That's great.
Yeah, what is school?
Huh?
Wait,
I'm trying to hear you.
I said I would have.
Perfect, I got a bunch of.
No, you're.
Grab it, don't look.
All right, let's go with
This is like.
4, 4.
Hey, man. Thanks for the handshake.
There you go.
The compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Huh? Take it. God. I think it's it's right.
Okay, so what's our first step? Tell me first before you do it.
Say your name.
See, listen to the
Take it. Give it to Charlie. Take it.
You don't give them.
What's up,
Huh?
You get no flush. Yeah, she's finally leaving the class.
How are you doing?
Get out. Your hoodie's there.
Really?
Yeah, just, it's like dusty.
What?
Not equal.
My beanie or my hoodie?
It's 4.
I just got this beanie.
It's because you were on the
We
phone.
call it the negative. Negative, exactly.
Son of a bitch.
Now, there's negative involved, so we have to rewrite this and flip our inequality to R.
You go to lunch.
No,
No, why?
You guys want to
Stop.
Yeah. We always go there. So where do you guys go for
We're not
lunch?
changing
I care how.
R. The inequality is just this. R
The
is
beginning
less
of your-
than. Sean, We're flipping.
Oh,
You're confused? Well, maybe if you weren't sleeping the whole damn lesson, you know.
What's he
Yeah,
doing?
but the lesson, it was a joke.
Okay, but what you're doing is you're being disruptive and you're being rude.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, again, this one, the variable's on the left-hand side already, so there's no need to move the variable. But it was negative 4r is greater than or equal to 16. To get r by itself, we do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. Divide both sides by negative 4. This cancels out, leaves with r is greater than or equal to. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and the sign of the difference goes to negative 4. There was a negative involved in our original equation, so we have to flip our inequality to r is, instead of greater than or equal to, it is less than or equal to negative 4. And this is Sean's final answer.
Is it right?
It is right. Make sense?
Yes.
Mr. Squidward.
Squidward.
wow.
I'm gonna check out my new player in solo.
All right,
I think my
Alex,
mom's
come on up.
Squid Game. My mom's Squid Game, but she really got eliminated. She got blasted.
She lost.
Oh, my mom, bro.
what's that?
She got blasted with her.
Well, I thought they died before they could blast.
First start, how do we
So
get
if they blast you down.
Under because they're fast.
Huh?
Under because they're fast.
what?
We upgraded them. I put needles in mine. I have the pump number thing where you put it in.
Hey, hold on a second, dude. I'm not sure why we're having this extracurricular activity and discussion. And bro, this is the third time I've asked you to quit doing that and pay attention to this. So what are we gonna do? Are you gonna be able to put that away and pay attention to that? Because when it comes time to do the work, then you're not gonna know what you're doing, and you're not gonna be able to get your assignment completed. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. All right. So you, M is greater than negative 4. Because the negative involved in the equation now, we have two part inequality. So this is just a change in the sign. So M less than. Because the negative tells us we have to flip the inequality. That's it. That's our final answer. If the M was on the other side, we'd have to rewrite it. You didn't have to, we'd already started on the left. Well, we moved the variables to the left-hand side. Makes sense?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, so exactly, so we're gonna have to change it. Because the M is gonna be something bigger than the negative that was involved. It doesn't apply to addition and subtraction, just multiplication.
Okay.
Got it? All
Let's
right,
have a desk at you.
Yeah.
I don't suggest you throw this,
Has that happened in here before?
not in here,
Well, like in general, like
in the easy program,
yeah,
absolutely.
like you being here too.
Yeah, in other classes. I mean, over the
Some
years,
kids got mad and just threw it, or
yeah, you know, some students have a hard time controlling their emotions.
like, but I understand, but like threw it, just like picked it up and threw it at something, or like at someone.
Something, someone, we had kids
Jesus.
throw we used to have computers in the rooms, kid wiped out a whole row of computers.
What the hell?
And of course, then he has to be restrained, and that's not good for anybody. Okay, Keelan, you ready?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Oh, she.
Was it traumatizing when he got restrained?
No.
How would that be traumatizing?
I don't know, would it be traumatizing for you if you got so out of control that I had to put my hands on you? That's pretty traumatizing, right?
Yeah,
It is. Anytime a restraint has to happen, it is traumatizing.
it is.
Oh, you guys have a restraint?
Of course.
Oh,
And so it is traumatizing because, I mean, it's not good for you and it's not good for me. You know, I don't want to put my hands on you, and I'm sure you don't
Well,
want to have
sometimes
you put their hands
she's
on
already
you.
died.
What's that?
That's something else.
I didn't hear what I'm saying.
No, I said I got restrained multiple times, so it's not really traumatizing. Now somebody gets shot, it starts to get
I mean-
story.
Yeah, I guess if you're used to it and it's your thing. I mean, it's traumatizing for me because I don't like it.
Sure. Did you say you could go to Hunt's house? The girl like dark
All right,
below.
So everybody's had an opportunity to do one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to our independent work right now. I'll go through the classroom. What?
Did you do two and, or explain your one?
I will explain to you.
Because it's like weird.
So when there's a,
No, like,
okay, I can explain better when you're quiet. 409 is first. No, thank you. Yes, I'm in a little bit. Thanks.
Get out.
No, she just walked in. Cool.
he still saw you,
Bella?
Bella. He still saw you.
All right. So in number 2 and number 4, all they're asking you is what happens to the inequality symbol when you do the following to each side of the equality? Okay, so if you multiply by a positive number, anytime if it's a positive number, do we change the inequality?
Yes.
No, it's a negative. We're just showing that. Remember, there's a negative.
Wait, the inequality is not the sign in the middle?
Yeah, but we only change it if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number.
Oh,
Remember, it's the negative number that causes us to change the inequality. So if they're asking us if you multiply by a positive number, do you change the inequality?
no.
No, and then number 4 says if you multiply by a negative number.
So don't you flip it?
You don't flip it. Listen, 2m
Oh, you just read, oh, wait, you just read it backwards.
greater than negative 4, okay? There's a negative involved. We're gonna divide by 2, divide by 2. 2 of m is greater than negative 2. Is there a negative involved?
Yes.
Because there's a negative involved, that's when we switch our inequality. It's less than negative 2. If we have 2m is greater than 4, we divide both sides by 2, m is greater than 2. Do we have to switch our inequality?
No.
No, because there's no negative involved. So this inequality stays the same here. Negative involved, inequality has to change. Right? That's all the examples we've been doing. We change the inequality when there's a negative involved. And that's what number 2 and number 4 is asking us. If you're multiplying by a positive number, nothing, it's unchanged, right? We don't change inequality. Multiplied by a negative number, inequality is changed. The assignment. We're going to do some extra work on this, so we're going to do most of it. 2-9. 111.
It's the staff doing.
Okay. Numbers 1 through 28 all. Yes, sir.
You put 1 to 9. 9, you put 9.
This is 2-9, dude. That's the section. 2-9. That's the section of the textbook, sir. If you turn the book.
We're going to eat
Oh, we're on 210. That's what. 210. Well, that was what we did. Good job. 210. 2-10, page 11. 111.
Wait, what page are we now?
Page 111. So as you guys are working on the assignment, I will walk through, see how you're doing, answer any questions. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll walk through, answer your questions, and then we'll take a small assessment at the
1
end.
through 28. Not even, look at that.